Roc Nation is out here deleting people's pages, bullying, doing a lot of things that in hip-hop, you know, all those people who hate me, they would normally call out, but not one of them are calling those people out.
Take a look at the case. There's another case I said I would not be interested in.
Really?
I just wouldn't be. No.
Same reason? Connection is...
It's different a little bit. I represent Roc Nation. A lot of people in Rock. I'm very close with Jay and Desiree Perez, who's most amazing, like...
Love him.
Bomb of a boss. Jay,
love him.
Amazing. You know, Jay Brown.
And I'm going to challenge the Joe Budden podcast. I'm going to challenge the Breakfast Club, especially the Breakfast Club. Because a lot of y'all shit seem to be coming from a heavy Roc Nation influence place.
All y'all upset? Just remember one thing that we all can collectively be happy about as a culture.
What's that?
Just be happy we didn't get Taylor Swift. Thank you, Roc
drop a
Nation,
bomb for that.
for
Drop a bomb
blocking
for that.
Taylor
Shake it
Swift
off. Don't do
once
that.
again.
She's been
Never, always pushing for the doubt. Hit a left and a right fist right to their mouth. I was never cocky figure till I started stacking figures. How you make a cocky nigga give him all the traffic? Always humble, but I got a couple bad habits. Set the numbers adding zeros to these mathematics. Get you talking different, walking like you gang banging.
Salute to the gang, salute to the field, man. Drop a like, drop a comment. Litty Reacts, we here with it. Y'all saw the intro, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see the title. I'm sitting here working on the next FixYaFace, and you know what I'm saying, as I'm sitting here going over clips and clipping things up, I'm listening to academics and things that, you know what I'm saying, I had to actively live react to, you know, to this because it did pose a question. So I'm working on a Roc Nation special, and for anybody that's not really familiar with the whole Roc Nation situation, this is what's going on. So years ago, kind of everybody's always known in the industry that, you know, shady things go on. From back in the day, Suge Knight hanging fucking Vanilla Ice from over the fucking banister, you know what I'm saying? Crazy ass fucking parties and all this fucking thing. Everybody been known that shit goes on. It's just an unspoken thing, right? So, like I've said on this channel, like I've said on all my other shows, you know what I'm saying? I've said it here before. We are in a time now where it's getting harder and harder for you guys to hide who you really are. You know what I'm saying? And with motherfuckers like me that literally stand on shit and is not sit there and coded by the fuck shit. Listen, I'm not the only one. There's going to be literally a bunch of us that's going to start flooding out all that shit, because see, when you're just who you are, it's just, there's no way of moving around that. You just are who you are. When you have these exaggerations on the internet, or you have these exaggerations, you know what I'm saying, whether it's in entertainment, hip-hop, whatever the case may be, eventually that shit fizzles out. Eventually you start to see whether you were really a weirdo or you were really a thorough motherfucker. And you know what I'm saying, out of the 100% of people in this industry and shit like that, you got about 10% that are thorough and real, and the rest are caught up in this fuck shit. And you see it. You saw an example of it when Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion had the situation that they had. You saw it. Tory Lanez went against the whole... He didn't go against Meg Thee Stallion. He went against her label, which is Roc Nation. Anybody that knows anything, because it's outside now, it's known. What they've done to artists in the industry, to content creators, they got academics talking different. Think about that. Think about that. One of the top tier media personalities is sitting there and talking. Now, I'm working on the FixYaFace, so I'm going to have a full, you know, go over the academics live. But on this one, I wanted to go over Joe Budden's, you know, take, because salute to Queen's Flip for him posing the question. Because I feel like as I'm heading into this next, you know, into this Roc Nation special, right? And I'm getting all these clips together. This is a perfect representation of, you know, somebody finally, from what I see, somebody calling, you know, Joe Budden out straight up like, yo, this is because Joe Budden has always been known to play stupid. And I think Joe Budden, more so than the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is a corporate thing. See, you can't really dive into the Breakfast Club too much without going into these other content creators. And it's not just the Joe Budden podcast. It's a lot of the Breakfast Champs. Hot 97 is even involved in this to a lesser extent because they don't have as much clout in the game because I grew up on these motherfuckers, bro. I grew up on Breakfast Club when they first came out, when there's the hot new music, hottest new interviews and all that, and they were getting all the interviews. Making Hot 97 look like a bunch of old folks at an old folk home trying to dress like they young niggas. I was there. I grew up on that. I was there when JBP was before that. It was. I'll name this podcast later. And off that energy is why I fucking created I'll drop this later. And then it evolved into the Joe Budden podcast with Rory and Maul before the breakup and shit like that. And I had to also part my ways because I tried giving the new show a watch. And the new show wasn't hitting. Because I literally started watching that shit because I thought it was he was talking from the perspective of a creator. A creative, right? That's the word you like to use, Joe Budden, is as a creative, right? So as a creative, you sat there and you were defending the creatives. But as the show started to evolve, as the show started to get more play, the Spotify deals, the YouTube checks started rolling in, all of that, you started to see how things was panning out. You started to see that you know what I'm saying? Like, money changes niggas. It exposes real money, real clout, real influence. Starts to really expose who you really are. When them zeros in your bank account start to look different, when them connections start to come, when people start to invite you to the Roc Nation for the brunches and all of that, to the Diddy parties and all of that, and then things happen in the industry or things happen with these guys, and you guys stay mum. And I get it, and this is what we're gonna go over because I only watch about 2 minutes, but Queen Slip says it right there. At least Queen Slip is up front with it. And says, yo, if it's somebody, it's one of my peoples and shit like that. And I feel him. If one of my peoples was caught up in some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Like, if one of my peoples was caught up in some bullshit, yo, my nigga, we gotta figure your shit out. We gotta handle your shit. And if it gets to the point where, nigga, I can't fuck with you, and like on a public forum, we have to, like, my nigga, if I met a nigga in public, and that nigga's attached to me in public, then we gotta settle that shit in public. You dig? But in private, if we have, dealings with each other and nobody, you know what I'm saying, nobody on the outside is really, they don't see us together all the time. They don't see us, parlaying with each other. They see us here and there, maybe at the brunch, maybe at this party, maybe at, at this dinner. You could call that networking. But you don't know that this is your man, this is your people. So if you go through some shit, my nigga, handle that shit in the background and then you silently dip off. If you can't fuck with the nigga after everything, you silently dip off and then you just, do what you got to do. We watched Jay-Z and Diddy for years. You know who that was in the beginning of the clip? That was Jay-Z's lawyer. That's Roc Nation's lawyer. The fact that he threw Jay-Z's name and Perez's name right there in the same sentence and then sitting there and y'all niggas act like none of this shit is connected. It's all connected. There's no such thing as a conspiracy theory. There's only half-truths and whole lies. And I told you, when it comes to the truth specifically, there's this side, there's that side, and then there's the truth. You can't get away from, from facts, my nigga. You can't get away from facts. You can't get away from receipts. You can't get away from the fact that this has been an ongoing thing. It's just harder for y'all niggas to move around. It's not the 90s no more. It's not the 2000s no more. You're going to find somebody somewhere that's going to say something. It just is the nature of the game. There's so many small voices that talk about this shit that don't get elevated because they get blackballed. But that only lasts for so long because you guys can only control so much. As people start aging out, as you start to get older and you start to lose touch with the trends and you start to lose touch with what's really going on with society, that's what you see with all these old heads. You see, they lose in touch with reality. So that's why you see all this shit happening and they don't know what the fuck to do. He had to separate himself from Diddy. He had to separate. Like, come on, Brody. You think you're gonna put yourself next to them? No, my nigga. You gotta make sure you don't catch a case. You got to make sure you keep everybody like that. So when you sit here and you hear stories of Roc Nation and everything like that, and then you hear, oh, this case got dropped on JC, that just means that he knew how to play the game better, allegedly. Do you know who that lawyer is? Oh, we're going to talk about it on Fix Your Face. But on this one, I want to talk about Joe Budden. Because Joe Budden, I mean, Brody, you did this with Diddy. You avoided the conversation when you on revolt. You avoided the conversation when you on revolt. And now you do the same song and dance on here with your peoples again. It's like no matter what, like you literally went from like being the hip hop legend that we looked at like, yo, he really going out there for the creators and shit like that, to just seeing you as literally the plant that you went against for so many years. You've become the motherfucker that you hate. You've become the motherfucker that you hate. Think about it, Brody. You wearing fucking loafer pants and fucking blouse shirts and fucking, sandals, man. You're not even wearing slides, my nigga. You're not wearing slides, my nigga. You're not wearing slides and none of that shit, my nigga. You wearing open-toe sandals with buckles on it, my nigga. We gonna see. We gonna see. Like, come on, Joe Budden. You mean to tell me that nothing has changed about you? You still for the creatives? You still for all of... When you can't even answer the questions, you the nigga that went viral for crashing out on Drake. That's what made the show viral. That's what got the show the traction that it needed. You guys were doing just the podcast thing. As soon as you crash out on Drake, at Drake's, one of his prime moments, my nigga, your shit took off. Let's be real. And your shit was the crash out moments. The crash out moments was what Joe Budden, like when he crashed the fuck out. And then it just became payola. Remember that term? It just became, everything became payola. You pick and choose, and I get it. If that's your man's, it's your man's. But when you are on the influence and shit like that, and you disconnecting yourself, like, at least just say it straight up. Listen, I'm not going to touch that. That's what I respect about Queen's Flip. Let's get into it.
You've been one of the guys that gone against the machine. And then now they're saying, now they're saying, as you being the person that did it, now they're saying that we up here may be afraid to speak on Roc Nation and the things that's talked about that's going surrounding it. What is your outlook on that? As far as speaking on things, do you reserve?
Nigga said that. Nigga, academics said that.
And some other people. It's a lot of people.
What are we talking about?
It's not just a lot of people. So I want to know, because you're my man, so I'm down. I'm on the same type of time you on. So, meaning I don't speak on shit.
This is what I don't like. See, this is what I don't like. It's the playing the stupid shit. It's the playing dumb. Like, you dumbfounded. Like, huh? What do you mean? Nah, academics said that. You passing the buck. But the reality is he challenged you. And I challenge you as well. I mean, I ain't nobody, nigga, like that outside. I'm nobody anymore. But just, you know what I'm saying? Like, he challenged you, gang. He challenged you to sit there and actually, you know what I'm saying, like, address a situation. I think the way, you know what I'm saying, and y'all gonna see on Fix Your Face, I think the way the academics handled it, was the way that you should handle it. He covered it. He covered it without having to dive too deep. And I think that you could do things like that. You as a content creator have the choice to sit here and do whatever the fuck you want. You can sit here and cover whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to sit here and down one of your peoples because they caught up in a situation. You don't gotta do that. It's not on you to do that. Why the fuck are they getting themselves into those situations in the first place? Why are you putting yourself in the situations? Once you recognize the situation, why don't you just bow out? No, the thing is that you guys still do the deals. You still pull the deals, and then when you sit there and this shit goes off, y'all all play stupid like y'all never knew what was going on. But y'all niggas been around. Not one time y'all didn't see nothing going on. Not one time you can't attest for the fact that they handled the situation wrong. Not one time you're not going to sit there and address the fact that, they got involved in the Tory situation and it wasn't just the Meg Thee Stallion shit. Motherfucker just got stabbed, bro. Nigga said that he got caught lacking. He got caught lacking. Y'all know how this industry works. For those in the streets, anybody that's dealt with hip-hop, anybody that's dealt with that shit knows how this shit works, gang. there's parts of this industry, like in any other business, that is just you don't. There's areas, you know what I'm saying, where it's just like, yo, these are the parts, you know what I'm saying, that gets other shit done. Then there's other parts where it's like, why the fuck is that even here? Qing Diddy in court. Qing why Jay-Z decided to separate himself all of a sudden after they were having brunches and conferences and all these things together with all the same people that you see in the Diddy pics and all that shit like that. 50 Cent's baby moms was just on the fucking on the stand. Think about that. You think that's embarrassing for 50? Nah, that nigga clowning her. You think he expected that shit? No, you think he expected to be done with her and then she gonna go and get some fucking, you know what I'm saying? She gonna go with Diddy, and because for her to believe in her mind, you know what I'm saying, that this nigga, for him to love her, she got to do all this extra freak off shit, and then it becomes a job to the girl, to the point where she's sitting there and crying, bro. Like these niggas are sick. These niggas are sick. How many stories have come out about Jay-Z over the years? And then you got these people that are all under Roc Nation, all tied to Roc Nation in some form or fashion. They all want to sit there and cape for these niggas. Cape for these people. You know why? It's because the money tied to them. It's the money tied to them. They're the ones that open up the avenues for everything else. If you just continue to stay shut, I'll open up the avenue for this. You stay shut, I'll open up the avenue for that. So salute to Queen Slip for even asking the question, because Joe Budden has been a proponent of that. Joe Budden has been sitting here for years. Everybody plays stupid along with him. And that's the problem with this media shit. That's the problem with all these motherfuckers that sit there and do this shit. Y'all get to a certain point, and it's like, y'all get these connections, y'all like worried. Like y'all become the influence, and y'all worried about this and that and this and that. You could talk about shit and have, hello, I just said it the other day. Yo, it's not illegal to think. Why y'all sitting there, you know, refraining from your free speech? We live in a country where you could literally say whatever the fuck. You gotta say, motherfuckers die for us. We just went through Memorial Day where people have died for us. Whether you like the shit that people say or you don't, they fought for the right for you to do it. Do you understand that? It's not about just the things that you want to hear. It's not just about the things that look nice and that are pretty. My nigga, they fought for your ability. If you're in this country, for your ability. That's why we got all this fuck shit. Because niggas fought for that. So if you sit there and don't think that if in the government there's fucking crazy shit going on, and all the fucking, in hip-hop this shit going on, in fashion this shit going on, in fucking... everywhere there's something going on. So why would I sit there and expect anything less? So when you have the influence of a Joe Budden, when you have the influence of a Breakfast Club, why don't we sit there and give donkeys of the day or have discussions and be like, yo, why are people saying this? Pose the questions to the same people, because if you're sitting there pulling up a lawyer, who the fucking hip-hop that listens to radio, that's listening to fucking, you're playing all the songs that were hot like 2-3 years ago, right? DJ Envy's spinning old ass songs. Like, niggas is tired of listening to the old shit, my nigga. But niggas is spinning the old shit, right? And then they invite a fucking lawyer, Jay-Z's lawyer, a lawyer that nobody here could fucking afford unless you up there in the upper echelon, right? Nobody gives a fuck. This nigga can't say nothing. Everything's illegal for him to say. Everything's illegal for the nigga to say. He can't say shit. So what is... I don't give a fuck about that nigga's story. What is he going to say that's going to resonate with me? What is he going to say? Nigga, this nigga deals with the police every day. This nigga deals with criminals and non-criminals every day. This nigga sits there and gets embedded every day until the point that I get to a situation, which I know I won't. I have to get me an entertainment lawyer just to fucking watch the money. Why the fuck do I need a lawyer like that that's going to get me out of fucking crazy ass fuck shit if I'm never going to put myself in crazy ass fuck shit? If it was really just Jay-Z and Beyonce, then it would just be just Jay-Z and Beyonce. They would have stayed the same couple and be... Nah, nigga, there's mad crazy stories about them too. Beyond, you know, shorty that you haven't heard from since this whole fucking Diddy shit has started. Jaguar Wright. beyond all that, bro. This is shit that's been going on in the music industry. Jay-Z, the whole Roc Nation shit. You don't fuck with Roc Nation. It was like the opposite with Diddy shit. Diddy sit there, and if you know that you signed to Diddy, nigga, he bleeding you for everything that you got, my nigga. He gonna put you in weird situations. That's something that was known. That's why you started seeing nobody sign a Bad Boy, my nigga. Why you think nobody signed a Bad Boy for mad times? Nigga? The niggas that signed a Bad Boy in the later years, all of them fucked up. All of them. Danny D. Kane, the band, all these niggas fucked up. Why? They seen shit. NDAs exist in this industry. You know how I learned about NDAs? This industry, the music industry. Go to a party and they sit there and you have to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck do we gotta sign an NDA at a party, my nigga? Because you don't know what the fuck you gonna see. So those parties you avoid, because if something pops off, my nigga, it's just gotta take the right lawyer to pop open that NDA, then your name's on a fucking list that you don't want it to be on. Who's to say that Joe Budden, Nori talked about the fucking door. Nori talked about the fucking door and all that shit. But yet he didn't cover none of this shit. He said stay away from it. And again, I give y'all the point. I give you the Queen's Flip point, right?
If I have a relationship, I can identify. If I have a relationship with somebody, I'm not speaking on it because I don't want to.
I give him that point.
Regardless of how egregious it may come off, I'm not going to speak on it because I
and it's fucked up because to a certain degree, I give you that, but to a certain degree, there's certain lines, Brody. You talking about heavy in lines. Now maybe you're not privy to the information, Queen. Flip. Maybe you're not privy to the information. Maybe that's what it is. Because remember, Queen's Flip, you still somebody that's coming up in this game, bro. You making a lot of connections, but you still are coming up. Joe Budden's already got all these connections. He can't fuck up the money. So you're in a position right now to be able to ask that question, and I appreciate you asking the question, and I appreciate you also being honest about it and saying, but my mans, if somebody was sitting there, you know what I'm saying, for rape or, you know what I'm saying, trafficking or any of that type of shit, my nigga, I think it's your duty as an influencer to actually speak on the shit, my nigga. If it gets to the point where somebody's a public figure, my nigga, I think it's on you, because at what point do you sit there and press stop? After the fact? And that's what a lot of you guys do. A lot of you media creators, a lot of you sit that cover this hip hop shit and all that. Y'all wait till after the fact, after the victims have been established, after everything's said and done. When you guys play stupid with everybody else, but then your names is on these lists. Your names is at your pictures is at these parties with these people. But then you, at that specific party, it was the one party that you didn't see nothing, Charlemagne. It was the one brunch that you didn't see shit go down or hear no conversation. Come on, bro. We all been at a party. You hear like 2-3 conversations going on. Everybody been at a house party or something like that. You hear like 2-3 conversations going on. My nigga, come on. Ain't nobody ever stumbled upon some crazy shit and been like, Joe Budden, you've always insinuated certain things in the background. You've certain things, the connections and shit like that. So now all of a sudden when things like this happen, you just take a step back and redirect the conversation.
So like if there was like a festival where things didn't go perfectly, you wouldn't like
bomb shit on
I'm gonna fuck you up. Okay?
No, I wouldn't do that. But I want to know when people say that towards you.
That's good for you though.
As you being the guy.
Tickets to the Tone Deaf Girl.
Yeah, you try to distract me. As you being.
I'm not. Let me try to. I
Joe Budden known for that though.
I didn't see nobody else.
A couple people. A lot of people.
People follow like responded to that by saying.
He known for that, and that's the thing. See, you see how they're calling him. Now, Shorty playing her role. She understand, Melissa Floyd.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I saw it was people tagging posts before.
Like I like the fact that they all calling it out and be like, yeah, because bro, it's all over Twitter, bro. You getting tagged, and yo, you live on Twitter. You live on social media. That's the shit. Joe Budden, a lot of these niggas be playing stupid online, like they don't see shit when the shit's hitting them directly in the face, bro. Pause, my nigga, like pause. But that shit be hitting y'all directly in the face, and it's like y'all be sitting there and y'all act like nope, but then shit that nobody gives a fuck about, y'all niggas be addressing.
Like y'all not gonna talk about this? I saw it.
There was specific topics that they feel like we avoided.
Yes.
Roc Nation.
Melissa Floyd, you are ladies. I'm gonna give y'all big credit right here. Y'all is worse than the FBI. All right, y'all is worse than the FBI, the CIA, the police. y'all want to find something out or y'all want to be in tune with something, you get you a shorty on the squad because she going to know everything. Salute to Rain over here. Salute to Teacher. Man, listen, I'm telling you, gang, they will tell you everything that's going on. Because listen, the ladies you can't get it past the ladies. The ladies are intuitive. They have their intuition, women's intuition. They sit there and they sometimes you get bitches out of that. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's the ones you want to avoid. But, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, we have women, we have ladies that, you know what I'm saying? You know, Melissa Ford, come on, girl. You been on both sides of the fence, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, shorty, so you know what's going on. Don't play. Tú estás jugando ahí como si nada, like, como pendeja, nigga. You're not a pendeja. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. You know you're not a pendeja.
How you look at that, Joe? That's a good question.
No te haga, yo. No te haga.
Shit. My brain be so different from what the internet is saying.
We don't know.
In my brain.
They don't know.
Shut up.
I was about to. I'm jumping in your cheerleader, motherfucker.
Yeah, look at yeah, see? Yeah, she being a good chick. Yo, Joe, shorty giving you the alley-oop. She doing what she's supposed to do, all right? All the homies on the thing, they trying to hold you to account. You know, when you're in the barbershop, you trying to tell a story, and like 2 of your niggas was there, and you curving the story, and if your niggas really your niggas, they gonna clown you, but like, nigga, you know that's not the way that it went down. You know that's not the way that... You know, like most of these clowns on this shit, they be like saying shit that not the way that it was, and niggas be sitting there silent. This is why you have shit like this, like Roc Nation and shit like that, because niggas stay silent. And that's why, I might have to listen to Joe Budden podcast, not for you, Joe, for the other 3, because they're holding you accountable right now, and I kind of fucks with that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm talking to them too.
Oh, okay.
Like, what I'm saying is, the Desiree story broke while we were still recording to me.
Yes.
That's that story, but there's been
But there's been other situations. You've never gone viral for talking about Roc Nation. You've gone viral for talking things that Roc Nation is doing against other folks, and that's why this piqued my interest, because I remember back then how it was. I remember you crashing out on motherfuckers on the labels, on Complex. I remember all of that. So it's like Roc Nation is one of the top. You know what I'm saying? And they stifling creators. Like, they literally doing the things that, you know what I'm saying, you go against. So, naturally, the logic would state that Joe Budden would sit there and address things like that. Charlemagne, and then we talk about them on FixYaFace. It's a Breakfast Club. That's a whole bigger story. They tied to it's a whole thing. Charlemagne is just, you know what I'm saying? Charlemagne is a special character. You got to do a FixYaFace on that motherfucker. But, like, Joe, like, you still have a little bit of legacy left in this hip-hop shit. You have a lot of influence, though. A lot of influence. But you've clowned your legacy by not sitting there and standing on shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, salute to these guys, man. Who was it? Ice-ish, I think.
The Roc Nation story.
Pardon if
people have run from up here. Quickly, because we want to advance this.
There's been talks of...
Tory and all
the shit that Desiree herself
that can't possibly apply to this podcast.
No, because he told you that's what I'm saying. That part.
That's what I'm saying. That cannot possibly apply to this broadcast.
But I think you speak of it I don't. But I think what they're saying is that you don't identify that Roc Nation may be playing a role in why Tory Lane's in jail. That's the angle that they're taking. You never say that. You just say you're free Tory. I said it, but you never say I can see Roc Nation playing a part. You never and.
Well, one, I don't have no proof of that.
True.
And it's bonkers. Just my take. I'm speaking for myself.
Got it.
I won't go that far. No. I don't think it's bonkers.
You see, that's the shit that you do, nigga. That's the shit that you. That's what I see. See, Joe Buddy, you're still the same nigga, bro. You still, even with the loaf. Look at the loafers. Look at the loafers, my nigga. Look at the loafers, my nigga. Them shits got clips on that shit, bro. I haven't worn loafers like that since I was like a nigga like 6. If not even earlier, nigga, like 4, nigga, like, I don't, and that was like summertime, bro, like, you wearing like, come on, Joe, I get it, bro, you're getting older and shit like that, but my mans, you're losing touch with reality, bro. You're losing touch with reality. You do this redirecting shit. That's the Joe that I know, bro. The redirecting shit, you know what I'm saying? The nah, bro, come on, this ain't it, man.
But I don't have any proof of it, one, and two.
And the fact that you do these things where you sit there and you say, like, yeah, you know, nah, let's not say that it's not all right, because that dude was trying to cape for the fucking industry. Nah, he's like, nah, let's not say that. So you know it's there, bro. And listen, we don't need as the audience, listen, we don't need. Y'all act like we need like the crazy details. Maybe like a lot of us, like they love that shit. The fuck shit everybody loves. But do you understand like the art of, you know what I'm saying, leaving things, giving people just enough. You know what I'm saying? The art of people giving people just enough and then letting things play out just to see, okay, what else comes from it. Then you can revisit the situation. And then you sit there and you can play neutral to the situation because of your connections and things like that. But you guys are so afraid of losing these connections. That's the thing. You guys are losing of dropping the bag, not realizing that at the end of the day, you are the bag. You are the bag, gang. So I will never understand that. No matter how many zeros is in the fucking bank account, no matter how many connections you establish throughout the course of this shit, one thing that you can never give up in this shit is your soul as a man, my nigga. Once you give that up, it's a wrap, my nigga. Everything else is bullshit.
Never, always pushing for the doubt. Hit a left and a right fist right to their mouth. I was never cocky figure till I started stacking figures. How you make a cocky nigga give him all the traffic? Always humble, but I got a couple bad habits. Set the numbers adding zeros to these mathematics. Get you talking different, walking like you gang banging.